Okay, so strategy video. This will be boring. So yeah. Are you ready for a boring strategy video? Do you want to see some charts? Do percentages excite you? Hello traders, so this will be kind of a different clip than we used to do, so it will be kind of a vlog style, but not really. It will be boring, and it will be me covering my process of tweaking and refining my strategy, because as you probably know, in the previous videos I wasn't really that present, mostly because I wanted to take some time off and reflect on my thoughts and my habits. So yeah, this will be a boring episode, but don't worry, I know you guys think I'm funny.
This is Alex, he's a funny guy. Let's put fun in Forex. Funrex.
Okay, so a boring clip following up. Do not despair, but we have to do this from time to time. Mostly why I took a few days off from trading. As you probably know, Chris kind of covered the last episode, but I needed this mostly because I took a look at the results after the first 2 weeks of the challenge, and some things popped up in my head. First of all, I wanted to make a clear and concise, I don't know, balance, or how do you call it? The thing that the accounts do at the end of the month. You get it. And I decided to split them in pros and cons, and yeah. First of all, the pros. Well, plus 2R, not too bad in 2 weeks, but it isn't nearly as much as I personally would have wanted, given that the win rate is decent, but it can be improved. But hey, we're talking about the good parts here. So positive win rate, check. Positive R, check. And that's kind of it. Now, yeah, I know it's bad. I mean, it's not bad. We're in this game to make money, but let's see the cons, because they outweigh the pros. First of all, time management. As you probably know from the previous videos, I also work a full-time job from 9 to 5, let's say, to put it in perspective. So in our current time zone, this means that I will be losing out on the Europe session and on the closing of the Asian session. So I found myself opening trades while at work, and I found out, checking out those trades, those specific trades, that it's a bad thing, mostly because I cannot get the best of any world. So my head will be a bit cluttered during work, mostly because I know I have a trade open and it's gold and what will happen and so on and so forth. And I tend to either close the trade prematurely or let it run bad. So first thing, yeah, time management, I will address that. Second thing, sessions traded. So I only have one session to trade, and that's the US session. If you are a trader who only trades for a half a day and you really like this, you will be bummed out, mostly because you feel like you are missing out on the action. And I had to figure out a way to bypass that as well, so I will address that next. And finally, of course, the strategy, the tweaks, how you enter, when you enter, how's the trend, and other cool stuff. So now we pass the boring part, and welcome to the boring part. So here we are on the charts, and let's talk a bit about the things that I pointed out earlier. So first of all, I was telling you that I will only trade US session after getting back from work. So this means that you probably know that the US session, when it opens, it's quite too volatile, at least for my taste. So I decided to start trading at precisely 5 p.m, which this is 5 p.m. GMT plus 3, for all of you guys there wondering what my 5 p.m. is, all the way down to let's say a 9 or 10 p.m. By that time liquidity will be low, so there won't be any more moves. So yeah, I covered the time span which I will be trading. Next up, I spoke a bit about forcing entries when they really aren't, sorry, and missing out on some important trend clues that the market gives you. So this is the second tweak that I am going to make, which is at the beginning of the market, I am going to identify the trend of the current market. So I will not be even remotely checking the charts up until 5 p.m. And I open the charts, I check some higher time frames for reference. I also trading gold is important, the dollar index, how's it going? I mean, you know, I won't bore you with that. But anyway, I will start trading with a specific mindset, be it market is bearish, market is bullish, or the market is ranging. The first two examples are easy. So market is bearish, I will only look for sells once my criteria are met. Market is the other way around, I look for trades the other way around. And if the market is going sideways like this, well, that's easy. It's basically a day off, so do whatever you want to do, but be sure to keep an eye on the charts as well, because momentum may shift. And finally, the important part. So this is some, I don't know how you can call it, but live backtesting that I did this Friday. So I basically opened a demo account just to see the spreads and the commissions and how this trading action and strategy will actually go. So as you probably noticed, something changed. We are on the 1 minute time frame, because again, we want to have some entries provided that we are in the direction of the trend. As you probably notice my notes, I scribbled a lot of things here because it's still in a beta testing, if you will. But the entries are similar to what you're familiar with. So stochastic RSI retest in the EMAs, as you can see, the trend is clearly going to the downside. So in this period, we are only looking for sells, and we should have only looked for sells for the whole session unless something else changed. As you probably noticed, I marked some important levels because these levels offer you a nice feedback in case you have a shift in the market trend, or if some kind of resistance becomes support and now you can trade it the other way around, sorry. And yeah, I was talking about the entries. As you can see, same retest to the EMA, stochastic RSI agrees with us. Now another thing that I changed is the risk to reward set on each trade. So each trade will have a stop loss of exactly $1 on gold. And from my experience, this isn't rigid at all. This isn't rigid at all, mostly because less than $1 on the 1 minute time frame, you are kind of gambling. More than $1, that's just an overkill. So I keep it simple. $1, it's simple to calculate your position size as well in MetaTrader or whatever you are using, and the take profit will be set at 2-to-1. No more than that, no less than that. And at another important aspect, which I noticed is a lifesaver in this case, at 1-to-1, basically lock the position at break even. So from that point on, you are not risking anything, because as you can see, we have loads of entries and we really don't want to be throwing 1% left and right, because yeah, you will have a good day, but imagine when a bad day comes, you will get completely crushed. Okay, this is the first trade that I took. Now let's walk you guys through the trades because I rambled enough. As you can see, US market started somewhere around these candles. Clear impulse downside, broke this level, retested it, so support became resistance. Retested it again, and we have an entry right here at this candle. As you can see, we have the cross down on the stochastic RSI. You're familiar with the strategy, you can find it in other videos on Udemy, whatnot. And I did a boo-boo here because I basically miscalculated the R and I set my take profit at $1 and my stop loss at $1. I basically deducted $2 from the stop loss because I am awesome at math. But yeah, things happen. So this would have been a clear win here. Okay, going on to the next one. So we have this nice impulse downside again. A bit of an early entry here, as you can see, this little bit of stochastic RSI, and this candle, which was red, a full red candle right here. Let me. Okay, so this candle that I'm highlighting now was full red, and I opened the sell, and in the last 3 seconds, I think it made this nice bad wick to the downside. But nonetheless, let's see what I noted. Okay, so see the green candle to the left. Now you see it. Yes, so another important aspect here. I know I'm all over the place, but I still am in the testing phase, and I still add tweaks, add things to see how they measure. First of all, what I wanted to avoid here was signs of increased bullish momentum. So this is kind of what you don't want to see on the 1 minute time frame before selling. I didn't check that out, but yeah, it closed break even. What can you do? So at 1-to-1, I locked break even, closed break even. Next one, as you can see, I already added the line here so that I know what minor support level could be. Moving on, as you can see, market tends to move in an ascending fashion, making higher lows, making higher highs. This is another thing that I want to point out. If you want to be selling, do not sell after a higher high and a higher low showed up on the chart, because again, you will be gambling. We are on the 1 minute time frame. You will have sufficient entries, so be sure to time your entries and be sure to filter them as much as you can. This is an entry that I wouldn't take now because I only figured this out afterwards. As you can see, we have a clear higher low, a clear higher high, a clear higher low, but I entered this position after this higher high here. Fortunately, again, close to taking my stop loss, but it didn't go all the way to 2-to-1. Closed it at break even. Moving on. So yeah, as you can see, then we had these two areas that I highlighted, kind of fuzzy areas, because as you can see, market tends to push up and down, up and down, up and down with no clear direction. These again are the times when you have to take a break, do whatever you want. Again, I play F1. You can do whatever you want. Keep an eye out for the charts and wait for one of these levels to be broken and trade accordingly. As you can see, I opened some trades here. Most of them were break even. And I also opened this trade right here, which again, I shouldn't have opened, but just live and learn. And I closed it earlier because I felt sleepy. But as you can see, things started to shape up in a quite nice way afterwards. What I was telling you guys, so identify the level, wait for it to break, wait for the signal, because as you can see, we don't have any signals. We have a signal right now. This would have been an awesome trade, an awesome sell after the market did a lower low, did a low push lower than this level, so retested it, then shot all the way down. Again, we had this entry here. This would have been a loss. No matter, we'll have losses, so yeah, bear that in mind. I don't know if that's news for you guys, but anyway, this is kind of the back testing that I did. So let's sum up. First of all, I only trade US session, and starting from 5 p.m. GMT +3, I open the graphs charts. Sorry, I check on the superior time frame what the trend is. I also check the dollar index and how it may behave during the US session, and then I will switch to the 1 minute time frame and act accordingly. On the 1 minute time frame, I will start marking mini levels, mini zones on which I see that price is acting and at which I see price reacting, basically. Then, if we start with a bearish mindset, please do not look for buys. So again, we are on the 1 minute time frame. You can have way more than enough signals. So if you are in a bearish mindset, if the market tells you that, only look for sells. The same applies for the bullish market when you only look for buys. Third, avoid these kind of market conditions. Again, you are doing nothing but basically gambling, staking out 1% per trade on the 1 minute time frame without any solid foundation. Simply wait for the level to break, and then you can act accordingly and maybe gain some profits from the market. Okay, I rambled enough. So I hope you guys went all the way with me during this video. I hope it made sense. I'm quite excited to start trading this way starting from tomorrow, Monday, and maybe I will get that R back up so that we can challenge Chris. But up to until next episode, sorry, again, massive appreciation for you guys who are still watching, because this is basically for you. I mean, it's for me as well, but I wouldn't have put this effort in analyzing the charts if it weren't for you guys watching, and I'm glad if you can take even a nugget of wisdom from my video. I am delighted. So yeah, appreciate you guys. You're awesome. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye.